Hello everyone and welcome to the 6th episode of the Cara's Knitting Corner podcast. This is my knitting podcast about obviously knitting, but also a bit of crochet and spinning and just general crafty goodness. And my name is Cara, I am 23 years old and I am a university student from the north of Germany. And today I want to show you all of my projects as I usually do. And also a bit of spinning actually this time, but also some yarn shopping that I did because I don't have enough yarn. Of course, there's the concept of too much yarn just doesn't exist. So I bought some more. I am wearing a hand knit, which even though it's the 1st of August, I can wear sweaters because we only have 18, 19 degrees Celsius every day, as the highest temperature. And that's quite cold and it's constantly raining, so it feels more like, I don't know, October. Right now the sun is shining, but we already had a lot of rain this morning. And so I'm wearing a nice hand knit sweater. This is a cozy classic light sweater from Jessie Maed Designs. And I made it a bit shorter in the sleeves, which makes it a great kind of cold summer days, warm autumn days kind of sweater. And this is a really fun textured yarn. It's a merino with these little nubs on it. And it's surprisingly comfortable to knit. I was a bit worried because of the little nubs, but they don't really bother me that much. I couldn't quite knit blind the whole time, but it was still a very fun project and it only used 2 skeins of yarn in my size. So I'm very happy with it and I really like how it looks. And this is made out of Y.A.S, which is a German yarn company, and it's their slub base in the colorway Kornblume, which is a flower that I can't translate to English. I don't have any finished objects this time because I have 2 almost finished objects that after another hour of knitting they would probably be done, but I didn't want to force myself to finish them right now and wait to record the podcast because it's finally sunny right now and you can just have a bunch of finished objects next time. So I hope that's all right. The first of these almost finished objects is here. This is a hat, the Y.A.S hat. And this is out of a local alpaca yarn in black. And I made quite a lot of progress. As you can see, it's a really big sleeve kind of. And it just needs to be a bit longer so that I can fold it so it has quadruple folded brim. I'll fold it around, it's already long enough to do a triple folded brim, but I want to have 4 layers over my ears and also for the 4th layer to go fairly high up. So I need a couple more centimeters until it's done. But it's quite boring because it's just stockinette and I didn't want to force myself to finish it. And it's not the weather for a really warm hat anyway right now, so it's not like I am missing it in my everyday life. So I think it's totally fine waiting a bit longer for it to be finished. Then I also have a more summery kind of knit as an almost finished object. This is my So Ruffle top, which is designed by Yvette Kim Designs, but I have modified it so much that it's almost not the same top anymore. Because I was really worried I'd run out of yarn, so I didn't even want to cast on the sleeves and do the t-shirt because it's bottom up, I would have run out of yarn probably here, and then I would have had to either buy more yarn, but this is a discontinued base, or I don't know, knit back or rip it out, and I just didn't want to do that, so instead I made it a top. I kept the ruffle at the bottom, did a bunch of stockinette. Then I did some short row shaping so that the top goes higher up in the front than in the back. Can't really see it, but it fits really well. I tried it on. And now I just need to do some straps, but this double knitted strap is quite boring again. And right now it's too cold to wear a really summery top anyway, so I think it's fine if I finish this in the next 2 weeks instead. But I did another ruffle in the front and I think it'll look really nice, kind of like a Barbie top, which is great because the Barbie movie's out and stuff and I'm going to see it fairly soon. So yeah, that's my other almost finished object. Again, maybe an hour of knitting and then the straps will be done. But I'll have to sit down and do that at some point. Then I have cast on a new pair of socks. which I took to the yarn festival that I went to. And these are the Strandtreppe socks from the German designer Nicolor. And they're like short socks with this fun like ribbed and garter stripe pattern on it. And I'm already on the toe of this one. So I only need to do the second sock and then these will be finished. And I used Wollmeise Twin in Natürlich for the main like gray colorway. And then Serpentin for this one contrasting stripe, just because I thought the gray would be too boring if I just did that. And that's a like really good on-the-go project at the moment. And then before I show you my last knitting project, I want to show you my current spinning project, because I unpacked my spinning wheel and I fixed the mistake that it had, or like the issue that it had, that it didn't run smoothly. And I put this on the wheel, and this is what's left over of a really nice braid of fiber from Stricki. And this is a 25% each of Merino, Alpaca, silk, and baby camel. So like really luxurious blend. And this was 185 grams, and I don't know how much is left. I'll put this one on the wheel, like the leftover, very soon. And then I have to chain ply it, because that's what I went for. I finally like solved my issues with chain plying, with which settings I need on the spinning wheel for it to come smoothly to me. So I really hope it will look nice in the end. And I enjoyed chain plying a lot more than like making a 2 or a 3 ply, just because I always have way too much left on one bobbin than on the other. I don't know why. And that just doesn't happen to me with chain plying. So that's my current spinning project. And it might be used as like the contrast color in a colorwork sweater. The new one from Andrea Maury has kind of caught my eye, so I'm thinking of making that. And the last project is out of yarns that I just bought this weekend at the Zulinger Wollefest, which is the yarn and like knitting festival that I went to. And I saw a sample in these exact colors, this really fun yellow and this white like fluffy yarn. And so I bought the same yellow main color, which is Mährle Albschaf, which is like organic German non-superwash yarn company. Like they make yarn out of German sheep wool that is like from happy sheep kind of. And this is the kind of a bit softer variety that they have, but still non-superwash and great for color work. And this is like an alpaca, cotton, and merino fluffy yarn, like a fingering weight, really nice fluffy yarn, which I'm holding double. And I'm making the Robinia sweater by Ventzel, which is like this really nice colorwork sweater. And considering that I cast on Sunday morning and today is Tuesday morning, I did quite a lot on it. I finished the front and back separately, and then now I've joined in the round and I'm working on the body like further. I hope it grows a bit more. I didn't really do a gauge swatch, and I picked a size that even if it's a bit smaller than it's supposed to be, it'll fit fine. But I'd like it to be like a bit more oversized, but I think it'll be all right, because you can see the body kind of gets a bit bigger. And then it'll need these really nice large sleeves, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's such a quick project because the yarn is so big. And I really like these fun colors. So that kind of leads me into the stash enhancement section of the podcast. I bought a lot of yarn at the yarn festival because it was my birthday 2 weeks ago and it felt fine like treating myself to something. And also this is the one like bigger yarn festival that I go to every year. I went last year and I liked it so much that I now like have it as a plan to go every year. And it's fairly close. It's like 2.5 hours of driving away from me, which maybe for some people seems a bit far, but for me definitely doesn't, because I live quite rurally, so I always have to go further to like a big city. And I went with a friend and I had a lot of fun, so I want to show you some of my purchases. But I really understand if you don't want to watch all the yarn purchases, like if you can't buy yarn right now or don't want to, this may not be interesting for you, then I totally get that, and I wish you a wonderful day. But for everyone who wants to stay, this is what I bought. The first thing is a project bag, which has this like nice hook. I don't know what you call it in English. We call it a Karabinerhaken. So you can take it on the go and like attach it to your pants. And it's enough for like a bigger sock project or maybe like the beginning of a sweater when there's only like one skein on it at the moment. So that's a really nice purchase and the only project bag that I treated myself to, but it had to come with me. Then I think I'll start with the spinning fiber actually this time. I bought this, which is Frau Wölfchen, which is like a really nice company that like they import different sheep breeds and like both yarn and spinning fiber out of breeds that we don't typically have here in Germany. So they do need to import it. I asked them if they like source it here in Germany, but it's just not possible. And this is South Down, 100% South Down. And this is a sock set. So there's two like similar smaller braids, and I can make like similar yarns out of to make two socks that are kind of matchy, which I thought was really great. I really like these crazy fun colors. And I also bought a braid from them that's 100% Rambouillet, which I also don't have yet. And I really like these colors. And this is a bit of a larger braid. This is, I think, 150 grams. So enough to make something nice out of it with the yarn. So that's my two spinning fiber purchases because I didn't go crazy on the spinning fiber. And also from the same company, Frau Wölfchen, I bought yarn for like a really nice colorwork sweater. This is their 100% South Down fingering weight yarn. And I bought this really nice gray with orange speckles as the main color and this like bright orange as the contrast for the colorwork. I'm really excited. I'm not sure which colorwork sweater to make yet, but I think this will be really great. I just want to finish one of the colorwork sweaters that I have on the needles, and it's like 3/4 finished before I cast on this. So that's why it's not cast on yet. I also bought some like discounted yarn, which is always really nice on yarn festivals because you don't spend quite as much money on yarn if you buy like discounted ones. And this is like a 90% viscose, 10% silk DK weight yarn that I bought for a sweater. And I really like it. This one skein is kind of a bit different than the others, so I'll try to see how far I get with these three before maybe like joining this one in as a contrast or something, because you can see the color difference here. I don't know. It was like in a booth, so it didn't quite appear to me, but I think I might need to like stripe it in. Although this skein also looks a bit different, so I don't know. But I'll figure out how to use them together. But I really like this yarn and it's something different. I also bought these two little skeins of fingering weight merino, which are also from like a discounted bin from Y.A.S, so the same company that this yarn is from. And I thought I could make like a ripple bralette or another kind of summer top that only uses like 100 grams of fingering, because I just like these colors so much and they didn't have more, so I thought I'd get that. But it's not suitable for socks because there's no nylon or anything. Then I bought more fluffy yarn because I really enjoy this alpaca fluffy yarn at the moment. And I bought these two, which are like a really bright green, which I love. I love this color at the moment. This is Wollawa again, so that's the same company that made the white for my Robinia sweater. And I just enjoyed the color so much that it had to come with me. And I also bought the same kind of alpaca fluffy yarn from Gewollt Bunt, which I also bought yarn last year. In this really nice, like variegated, soft pastel color, which I really love too. So these make me really happy. And as I said, I bought some more of this like slubby yarn to make another sweater. This is also involved, and this is a colorway Manuka, so like Manuka honey. And I just thought it would be really great for a bit more of an autumnal version maybe. And I'm also thinking of like using this not for a raglan, but instead like doing, I don't know, like a yoked one or like V-neck sweater, so just so it's a bit more different than this one, even though it's the same yarn base. But I really like these colors. And last but not least, I bought my first sock blank, which I always wanted to try a sock blank, but they're always pretty expensive, and we don't have that many dyers who make them here, I think. So I decided to buy this because it was also in one of those discounted bins, which felt like I didn't feel like spending a lot of yarn anymore, so I bought this one. And I also really like these colors. It's like tied together right now, and it's like a single sock blank. Sometimes there's these double knit ones that you can like pull for 2 at a time socks from, but this is like a single sock blank, which works better for me and the way I knit socks. And I think that's all of my yarn purchases. I bought also some of these like I don't know what you call them, but you can push stitches on these ropes kind of to save them if you like have, for example, the sleeve stitches in a top-down sweater. So I bought this as well. And just some like candy and stuff that they also had available. But that was all for like the crafty and yarny stuff. And I hope it was a bit interesting to see what I purchased. I'm really happy with my purchases, and I don't plan on spending way more money on yarn in the next couple of weeks or months maybe. But I was really happy to go to the yarn festival, and I have another 2 weeks of holidays, which is really great because I want to spend it knitting and spinning and just trying out all the things. I also bought myself an e-spinner, but haven't unpacked it yet, so I think that's something to do in the next 2 weeks. And I'm very happy to see you again in hopefully around about 2 weeks. I hope you have a great week, and I wish you all the best. Bye bye.